Yeah.
Don't you just like pay a lot of money and then you're on like a computer list and you have to wait like for so long
Yes,
until they.
that's one of the big problems. Every day in this country, 7 days a week, there are 4 or 5 people who are on various transplant lists that don't make it. They die, and they die for lack of organs.
Did they ever tell you the donor's name or?
No, all I know about my donor is that the heart came from a donor at Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn.
I
And
don't know if it's a male or female.
I was told he was a male, 18 years old, greater Detroit area. Now that's all I know about him. I don't know his name or his family or brothers, sisters, parents. I know nothing more than what I just told you now. Yeah.
But did they tell you if he was mental, or is that why he was held up or something?
No, they didn't tell me what the reason of his death was, except that he was, of course, declared brain dead.
Why didn't they get, if he was going to donate his heart to you, why didn't they give him an artificial heart?
Well, artificial hearts are just a stopgap. They're not that perfected yet. And I don't think anybody has lived more than a year with an artificial heart. They're just not that perfected yet. Yes?
What happens if the heart was like bigger or smaller than your heart?
Say that again?
What happens like if the heart's like bigger or smaller than your heart?
Okay, another one of the criteria for getting a heart is your body mass has to be within 20% of your own. In other words, this young man who I got a heart from, his weight at the time that he was declared brain dead was within 20% of my weight. It stands to reason they're not going to take the heart of, let's say, someone your size who, let's say, what do you weigh, 100 pounds?
Me?
Yeah. Okay, they're not going to take the heart of, let's say, of you and put it in a 300-pound guy who's like a big, burly football player. It's just not, the heart wouldn't be big enough. Also, the reverse is true. His heart would be too large for your body. See, so that's why the 20% mass difference, no more than 20%.
So if you was to get someone smaller than yours, they wouldn't grow enough to the correct size you would grow.
I mean, the heart of a younger person will grow with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will. If you, some of the pediatric cases, the heart will grow with the recipient's body in size, in proportion like it normally would if it wouldn't have happened.
What if something happened that your heart didn't like reject the death heart? What would happen?
Well, that's another thing I was going to get to. I am on anti-rejection medicine the rest of my life. I take it twice a day. I took mine this morning already. I take it 12 hours apart. It's capsules and pills that fit into this little thing. I took it about 11 o'clock, 11:30, and I'll take it again tonight. And that's anti-rejection medicine, because my body will always try to fight this new heart, because it's a foreign object to my body. Every one of us have an immune system to fight off diseases, germs. When people lose that ability, then they have a condition called AIDS. AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. If you can't fight it off, a common cold virus could turn into a major cancer and kill you. Every day there's germs coming in that window right there, right now. From stuff that we touch, the food we eat, it's all around us. You can't live without it. So your body, the immune system will always try to fight germs. Also this foreign heart, because I wasn't born with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but how can you like take penicillin? Penicillin is like a really bad germ.
Yeah, but that is a controlled substance and a controlled dosage.
they use it for like defight things.
Yeah. Well, I can,
It's actually bacteria.
yeah, but I can take that in a controlled amount. If I were to catch an infection, I would be put on antibiotics just like you would. But since I'm immune suppressed, my immune system is artificially suppressed to keep this heart in me. You understand? And it's now I'm on maintenance dosages of medicines to keep my my donated heart in me. It's a fine balance that they have to keep. Yeah.
What's it do with your old heart?
Okay, that is sliced up. Yeah, they slice it up like a bologna, and they keep it on slides for legal purposes in case I happen to sue someone later on down the line and there's actual physical evidence. And now most of that, they used to save it, but now they just microfilm it and keep it on file. But they just use it for, they have to autopsy it. And what the cardiologist here in Port York found out was exactly true when they took the old heart out. 2/3 of that heart muscle shot. Yeah.
When they check it, isn't it like on a machine on the phone?
Yeah. There is, once a month, I personally go down to Henry Ford Hospital and have them check it. When I first got the pacemaker, I was checked over the phone on a monthly basis. And I just held that telephone thing with wrist things around my wrist, and it would just go over the telephone.
Yeah,
It's
I
kinda
got
neat.
this one too.
You got one?
Yeah.
Welcome to the club, kid. Yeah.
How many times do you go to the hospital with the doctor?
I'm 7.5 years out now, so I only have to go for myself about every 6 months. I was gonna get to that. What they do is to find out whether I have any rejection at all of this donated heart. They go in through my neck, right here. They numb it all up, put that betadine, that brownish germ-killing stuff on, and they numb it up like with Novocaine, the same kind of stuff that they use to freeze your gums when you go to the dentist. They go in through the jugular vein, through my neck. There's a little scar here. They take a tiny tube, they snake it like a roto-rooter down to my heart. They take a couple of tiny little snippet samples. They take it out, they suspend it in this clear jelly, and they send it down to the pathology lab to see whether there's any rejection. Yeah.
What would happen if you forgot to take your medicine once or twice?
Well, once or twice, you're probably not in too big of a danger, but if I were to absolutely stop taking my medication, I would probably be dead in probably a week. Yeah.
Have you ever worried about if your life was gonna change or something, like if you could run or
Yeah, well, you don't go through
burgers and
some,
stuff like that?
you don't go through something like this without some deep thinking and a lot of thought and reflection on how precious life is and what a second chance we've gotten in life. It makes you stop and think. You don't go away from this just, by, it's not like just a broken bone that can be set and you can forget about it.
When you had your heart attack, did they have to take this one wire thing and stick it up through your leg up to your heart and dye it, see someone in it?
They did that at Beaumont Hospital. I was going to tell you, I kind of got ahead of the whole thing.
I knew this group might do that, but they're very serious.
Okay, I had the heart attack in Port York in the Grand Trunk Railroad yard where I was employed. I was taken by ambulance to Mercy Hospital, where they stuck all kinds of tubes and stuff in me to keep me alive. And I was stabilized that night. And from x-rays and echocardiograms and other pictured MUGA scans and other pictures that they could take of your heart, it proved that it was 2/3 gone. The heart is nothing but a pump. It's a group of muscles. I think there's 3 different types of muscles in your body, and it's one of them. put your fist together. In proportion to your body, that is about the size of your heart. Put it right here, that's where it fits. If you're a large person, okay, and your hand is proportionally larger, it'll be about that size, give or take. Now, the heart, that's only weighs not even a pound or two. Worth its weight in gold, though.
But when they transfer it, how come, I was watching on Discovery Channel, heart surgery, and they had the heart in a little bag in ice water and it was
Yeah.
pumping.
No, it's not pumping.
This one was.
Yeah, well, there's no blood going through it. What you probably saw was the heart is suspended in this saline solution. It's like a salt water. And it's sloshing around will give it the appearance like it's beating, because this saline solution is a germ killer, and it keeps the heart muscle somewhat alive. And there's only a time, there's only like between 3 and 5 hours tops from the time they take it from this brain dead person to the recipient. Otherwise, it's a muscle, it'll die, and it's no good. Yeah. You.
How many times are you allowed to eat today? Like, is there certain kind of foods that you're not allowed to eat?
Say that again?
Is there certain kind of foods that you're not allowed to eat?
Well, another thing, I have to watch my diet. A good, sensible diet is the best thing that they ever told me. Watch the salt, watch the fats, try to eat as nutritiously as possible. That isn't always possible, but I try my best. It's an uphill fight. Yeah.
When you did the new heart, did they just cut off the part that was like shot, or did they just take the front part of it off?
They took most of it, they kept like the back wall of it. There's a fancy name for it, I can't think of it right now. But they keep that in you. That part is the closest to your back. And it gives them something to stitch the donor heart to. Yeah.
How would they have stood back the capillaries?
The capillaries are at the end of, the arteries and the beginning of the veins. I don't know if you've studied that, but that gets reconnected by itself. So do most of the veins going into the heart. They attach the main ones. The rest seem to fuse themselves and do it on their own. Yeah.
How much does a heart transplant cost?
My particular one was $105,000. That's what Henry Ford Hospital Surgery Department charged Travelers Insurance, who paid for it. And there was a time when Mrs. Perukel was concerned about our insurance company paying Henry Ford Hospital. And I said to her, Jane, don't worry about it, they're not going to repossess it. It's not like a car. It's in me, it's there. And that finally got settled around, so some years later. Yeah.
Did you become more healthier with the new heart?
I became about after cardiac rehab, which is like a gym, modified gym class that you take after. Because what happens if you're laying around a hospital for any length of time for a couple of months, your muscles atrophy. That means to become weak. And that happened to me quite a bit. So I went through cardiac rehab to build myself up physically again. Yeah.
Say if you didn't pay the money, like if you had like say $300, if you didn't pay it, would they just let you die?
No. Henry Ford Hospital is a public teaching hospital in Detroit, and I know of about maybe 10 or 15 cases where the person who needed a heart transplant had no money to speak of, and the state of Michigan and the federal government paid for a part of it, because at one time heart transplantation was considered experimental medicine, so that the government and National Institute of Health picked up quite a bit of the tab on that, and various government agencies and also private donations are also covered by this. So no one is ever denied an organ transplant because of lack of money. I'm not saying there isn't politics involved in some cases, I can't be sure of that. But I personally know of no person who's ever been denied an organ transplant because of lack of money. Yeah.